For nearly 20 years, the year of the Linux desktop has been a punchline in the tech world. It was a goal that always seemed to be exactly 12 months away, a digital mirage for enthusiasts and privacy advocates. But as we start a new year with 2026, the laughter has stopped, the data is in, and for the first time in history, the needle didn't just flicker, it jumped. Between the forced retirement of millions of perfectly functional PCs and a corporate pivot toward intrusive, mandatory AI, users are hitting a breaking point. They aren't just looking for an alternative, they are looking for an exit strategy. Hi, I'm Brian, and today on Terminal Tilt, we are looking at why the growth of Linux in 2026 is not just hype, it is a mass migration toward digital sovereignty. To understand the growth of Linux, we have to look at the catalyst. October 14th, 2025 was not just a date on a calendar, it was an expiration date for hundreds of millions of PCs. Microsoft officially pulled the plug on Windows 10, labeling perfectly functional hardware as obsolete overnight. Because of the TPM 2.0 requirement, a staggering 240 million computers were suddenly destined for landfills, not because they were broken, but because a trillion-dollar company decided they were not secure enough for their new vision. But it was not just about the hardware. It was about the software soul of the machine. In 2025, Windows stopped being a tool and started being a supervisor. With the rollout of recall and co-pilot actions, your OS began taking snapshots of your screen every few seconds, building a searchable database of everything you have ever done on your computer. Microsoft calls it intelligent productivity. I call it a fundamental violation of privacy. For the first time, big tech did not just want your data in the cloud, they wanted a recording of your local desktop. For many, this was a line in the sand. People realized their hardware was being held hostage and their privacy was being auctioned off. They did not want a computer that spied on them. They wanted a computer they actually owned. For decades, gaming was the final boss for Linux. It was the one thing that kept millions of people tethered to Windows. But in 2025, that wall didn't just crack, it fell. As of November 2025, Linux reached an all-time high of 3.2% on the Steam hardware survey. That might sound like a small number, but it represents millions of active users, more than the entire Mac OS gaming population. We are no longer a rounding error. The magic behind this is Valve's Proton. By late 2025, Proton has reached a level of maturity where over 80% of the top 100 Steam games run flawlessly. But it's not just about Valve's hardware anymore. The Steam OS experience has escaped the deck. Community-driven projects like Bazzite, which I have been following closely, have seen a massive surge in users. They are taking Windows-based handhelds like the ROG Ally or the Legion Go and giving them stable console-like Linux experience they were always meant to have. When gaming became easy on Linux, the last major excuse for staying with Microsoft vanished. Linux isn't just a place where games work anymore. For many of us, between the lower system overhead and a better customization, it is where they run the best. While individuals are moving to Linux for gaming and hardware longevity, entire governments are moving for something deeper: digital sovereignty. In late 2025, the German state of Schleswig-Holstein hit a massive milestone, successfully migrating 30,000 PCs and their entire email infrastructure to open source alternatives like LibreOffice and Thunderbird. They realized what we have known all along: you cannot have public accountability on private closed source code. They are saving 15 million euros a year in licensing, but more importantly, they are regaining control of their citizens' data. Then there is the AI exhaustion factor. By the end of 2025, the tech industry tried to force generative AI into every corner of the UI, but the pushback was so strong that even Mozilla had to pivot, promising a global AI kill switch for Firefox. Linux is currently the only platform where no actually means no. It is the only space where you can build an AI-free workspace without a single byte of your data ever leaving your machine. This has fueled an explosion in the homelab movement. My decade-old HP Pro 600 is running Linux and Docker. It is more capable than a brand new AI PC. I am self-hosting my photos, my files, and my password manager. I am not renting my digital life from Microsoft or Google anymore. I have pulled my data off their cloud and put it back where it belongs, under my roof, on my hardware, under my control. The explosion of Linux in 2025 was not an accident. It was not just a trend, it was a reaction. It was a movement. We decided that our computers should work for us, not for a board of directors or a data harvesting algorithm. Linux is not just for hackers or distro hoppers anymore. It is for the humanist who believes in environmental responsibility and keeping hardware out of landfills. It is for the gamer who wants performance without the telemetry. It is for the person who simply wants to own the tools they use every day. If you are tired of your operating system spying on you, or a corporation telling you your perfectly good hardware is obsolete, the exit door is open. It is time to stop fighting your OS and start owning it. I am Brian. Thanks for watching Terminal Tilt. I'll see you in the next one.